Did you know that AI and automation can work very well together when it comes to building nurtures for different events? Well, in this video, I'm going to show you how you can use the OpenAI GPT integration with GoHighLevel to build custom nurtures so that everybody that comes through a workflow will get a customized, unique email. So let's hop on over to the computer and I'll show you how you can do it. Okay, so here we are inside of GoHighLevel, and what we're going to be doing is building out a webinar workflow. Everything from the landing page right through to the automated workflow that uses AI, giving those who register a customized follow-up automatically. So this is the workflow process in which I follow when doing this. It just allows you to start to build that whole process without having to backstep through it. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to be creating the form. This is the form in which they submit on the landing page to register for the event. So we're going to go to Sites. Then in here, we're going to go to Web Forms. We're going to choose Builder, and we're going to say Add a new form. And we're just going to start from scratch. Just do this ourselves, as manual as possible. So in here, we're going to first always name it. So this is just a little habit to get into, is always naming your items so that you don't forget and they don't end up just in this untitled list here. So this is going to be webinar registration. Now I'd recommend you give it like a title of your webinar. So title of webinar, right? So this is just a sample. So we're just going to call it that. Now, what are you going to put on here, or what are you going to require? Well, essentially, you ultimately don't need a lot of information to get somebody to register for a webinar. You could get by with just first name and email. Technically, you could just get by with email if you want, but it's nice to have the customization in here. So I'm going to remove out the last name from the system, and I'm going to remove out the phone number just for now. And because we're not getting the phone, we don't need to have this disclaimer here. And if you don't have the privacy in terms at this point to link to, but you should on your website have at least a privacy policy, you should go ahead and link those on that form. If not, we're just going to delete it there, click the button, and we're just going to say register. Now you can go ahead and change all the colors and all that fun stuff. So we're going to hit save. Now we've got this registration form ready to go. Now let's go back to the funnel side, and we're going to create the funnel where they would register. So we're going to click new funnel, and you could start blank and build it all manually, or you can go through the template library. And this is broken up into different categories. You go down to types and drop this down to see more and choose webinars and virtual events, and you get a couple of templates here to work with. I'm just going to go ahead and choose this one here, and we're going to click continue. Again, this is just for demo purposes, so you can see how we're connecting all the pieces in here. Now, when this comes up, there's always going to be a spot where the form needs to go. Now, this sample here has a booking calendar in its place, so we're going to delete that out of there. And then what we're going to do here is add in the plus sign, and we're going to find form, and we're going to drag that over right there, and we're going to choose that webinar form we just made. And there it is. All right. Now, if you want to get fancy and match the colors to the background, you can do all that. Now, I'm not going to worry about all the contents on here because, again, this is just a demo, but at least this form is on here. Now, one other element when you're building forms on landing pages here is where do they go when they submit the form? Because this is a funnel and it's got multiple steps from a registration to a confirmation page, when you click on the form on the right-hand side under button actions, where is the redirect going? So there's use action from the form builder, because in the form you can actually set where it's going, or you can go to the next step. Next step is the one we want because it's a multiple step funnel. Just going to hit save on there, and we're going to click update. And this is where you would publish it. We're not going to worry about publishing it. We're just going to save it right now. Now let's go back here and go to the automation. This is where things start to get fun. So we're going to create a workflow, and we're going to use one of the recipes that comes with GoHighLevel. And it's this one up here on the top right-hand side called Lead Nurture using GPT History. So we're going to select that, and it's going to install that to your list of workflows. Again, with everything else, always name it at the top. So we're going to say webinar dash title of webinar, and you put the webinar in there. It could be like the 5 steps to whatever. And then we're going to say confirmation and nurture. So whatever it is. So this kicks off with a form trigger. So we're going to click on this, and it's going to say it's a form. We're going to click Add Filters, and we're going to say Form Is. And again, we're going to choose that registration form that's there. Now, as you can see here, if we went and did the workflow first and came here, there would be no form to select. You'd have to backtrack and go through this. That's why we did form, then landing page, then workflow. Now, you could get it by without doing the landing page in the middle. You could just go with form, and then you can have this all built out. So we're going to save that. So now down below, this is where the first GPT AI prompt happens. So it's powered by OpenAI. We're using the Chat GPT-4 Turbo. It's a custom action. And in here it says a customer has submitted the form. Prepare a welcome email for, and it's going to merge in their name. Also give a brief about the webinar. In here is where you can put more information about what this is. So we're going to say here, a customer has just registered for an upcoming webinar called The Top 3 Mistakes When Building Webinars. We'll call it that. Prepare a welcome email for blank name. And then we're going to say, include the following items in the email. And then we can say, you will learn what the top 3 mistakes are and how to overcome them. You will be able to have a step-by-step process on how to create a killer webinar, and you will have all your questions answered. Speak to them like you are their friend and make it very casual. Now, if you had on the form put something like a company name or anything like that, you could essentially then merge in that here. So if the company name was in there, you could say, their company name is, and you can merge in with that little icon there, go contact company name, and you can merge it in there. So it'll know that when it's starting to build the prompt. Sign the email, your friend, Sean. The link to the webinar is, so you can put in the link in here, right? .com/top 3 mistakes. Obviously, that's not the right webinar URL. It's not going to go anywhere if you decide to go there. So you put in the prompt here of what you need to know, and it's going to say enable history here. It means turned on will draw for insights from the previous GPT action. So this is going to be important for moving down below through the process, because it's going to know what was said in the top. It's going to continue on here. So the history that it's creating from this is for this workflow. Okay, it's not from the whole account. It's just from this workflow. There's also an advanced options here, which allows you to choose what they call the temperature. So this is how random the outputs are or should they be focused and deterministic. Now it says here, system instructions. You are a sales executive handling a personal finance webinar, leads the company. Now in here, this is where you can say more about what it is. You are the customer service rep for Blue Cow Marketing, and you're handling all the correspondence for the upcoming webinar. I'm just going to fix that there. Oh, okay, it doesn't want to give me the right one there. I think it might be ENC. There we go. And now we're going to save that. So what we're going to do here in the email is you're going to go in here and put in who it's from. So you can either put the email name and everything in here, at this point in every single email, or you can go to settings and you can actually go ahead and put the name in here. So I can put ours in here, put in my email address if I want it to come from me. Can do that. And for any of the text, if there was a number, this is a sandbox account, so I don't have a number created for any texting. And we didn't require texting on it, so we're not going to worry about that. So we come back to the builder. And now the emails, if they're just left blank, they will fill in the one that was in the main setting. So it could be welcome, and then you can go ahead. Let me move this out of the way. Welcome to the webinar. If you want to merge in the first name of the person, you can go ahead and do that up here. But this is going to be key here. I'm going to take it out, but I'm going to show you where this comes from. Because above this, there's a ChatGPT element. When you go to merge in elements, there's a GPT option here, and it's going to show you the first response, and you can just merge in that response to this. One caveat to this is test this after you do it. Sometimes it comes in with asterisks and things like that for formatting. That's called markup. If that's happening, and it doesn't always happen, then what you're going to have to do is go back to the prompt and tell it, please don't include markup, or don't write a subject line in the email. Sometimes it will write the subject line. You want the body of the email to be a true body of the email. So with anything that you're ever building in workflows and processes, you want to make sure you always test it. Run yourself through it and make sure that what you're getting is what you want on the outcome. Now we're going to wait a day in here, and it's 1 day delay, and then we got another response. So this one says, this is the second email. This is to include a link to the introduction video. So maybe you have created a video, upload it to your YouTube, make it unlisted if you want. But this is the video that's talking about warming them up for the webinar. So you can go ahead and put the link in here, / whatever it is. But the idea is this is going to be a secondary email for those people that give you that welcome element of it. And again, pulling the history from this and the advanced options that are in here is still having the one from before. So what we're going to do here is we're just going to go back to the previous one here. And we're going to take that, copy that. We'll take this, take that, and we're going to paste it in there to be the same one. All right, we're going to hit save. So now the email here is going to be the same thing. It can be webinar intro, and it's going to pull in that chat response 2. So if we looked at the 2 responses here, now we have 1 and 2 because there's one at the top, and then there's a second one here, so you can pull the one from the right one that you want. Then we've got waiting for a trigger link to be clicked. So in this here is waiting for the link to be clicked. An email event is sharing the intro link. So this is what we want, is a link in that email is what we're going to say. When they click that link, they're going to advance forward. And it's waiting for the event being clicked. Now it will time out after 3 days. Okay, so which means that after 3 days, if nothing's clicked, it will advance through saying that they didn't actually achieve that goal. And that's where it comes down here, where the condition is if they click the link or if no conditions were met. So if they click the link, it's going to wait here. It's going to wait 10 minutes, do another response, and it says the user clicked the link in the intro, thank them for watching the video, and share the payment link for the webinar. Now this is if there is payment in there. Maybe there's something else you want to do in here, like give them a resource or just have another email go out to them. This is where you can build that in there moving forward. But the goal is they only come down this stream if they have clicked the link. Now after 3 days, if they don't click it, they're going to come down here, and this one's going to have another response that says, customer did not click the link, prepare a follow-up email and share the intro link again. Okay, so you can build another one. So ultimately what you're seeing here is instead of having to write the emails, it will actually write them for you as you're going through, and every email is going to be slightly different. Now you may say to yourself, Sean, this is a very transactional process. We don't need to use AI for all this. And I would argue the point that you don't in this sense that's here, because this is just name and email address. You're giving them a link. If they click it, they don't. You don't really need to use AI for that. However, if you know that in that customer journey, you've asked some questions. So you're promoting this webinar, and actually on the form, if we go back to the form here, we know this form was used for the top 3 mistakes on a webinar, right? if you had, let's say, an open text box, so you created a custom field for a multi-line box here, and you put it into the system, and the question was, tell us your biggest frustration when it comes to running a webinar, and it's required. They have to put something in there. Now you can merge that into the prompt and say, contact expressed this concern when running a webinar. Make sure to address that in the emails that are going out. Now you're using data that's more open-ended to give them a more customized flow in the process. So think about how you can use AI in here, because what I showed you there in the process of those ChatGPT elements and then merging in the content breaks open all the doors for customizing and making unique flows that are specific to every single contact. And you can use this, post customer nurture as well. If you know that you've gotten, address information and everything like this, you could ask the GPT to find facts on the town that they're in, become humorous, right? The sky's the limit what you can do. Now, if you have any questions about anything that I showed you here in the system, please go ahead and comment below the video. I'd be happy to answer those for you. If you found value in this, please like the video. If you'd like to see more of this, please subscribe and help us grow the channel. It's been a pleasure doing this. Reach out if you need any help with your GoHighLevel or any version of GoHighLevel. If you're looking to get it, we'd be happy to help you as well with our Client Connector account, which is a full-blown GoHighLevel account that we can get you set up with moving forward in your business. So thanks for watching. It's been a pleasure. Have a great day.